What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's June 5th. I've got all the latest news, and all eyes are on Koopmeiners, with Juve pressing to finalize this deal. The latest rumors suggest that Juve is set to offer 30 to 40 million euros plus youngster Dean Huijsen on top of it to finish this deal up. Juve and Koopmeiners have apparently had an agreement in place for several months at a contract of 5 years worth 4.5 million a year in salary, all right? But the latest rumors suggest that Atalanta will not budge in any way, shape, or form. They want cash. They don't want any players included in this deal, and they want to see the money. What is going to give here? Is Juve going to work this out and just come up with the cash, sell some other players? It appears that they have. Koopmeiners will, which is massive, and could give them that freedom to make these sales, drum up the funds, and just make it a straight cash deal. But they still have to sell these players. But there are links, and Nico Schira states that Atalanta is interested in Dean Huijsen. So what do you think is going to go down? Is there going to be a deal found? Is Juve going to just come up with straight cash? Or is Juve going to turn their sights elsewhere? What do you see happening with Koopmeiners and Juventus? Are we going to land them? Hit me in the comment section. For me personally, I believe Juve will land Koopmeiners come hell or high water. I believe this is the top target. I believe Giuntoli has been discussing mercato with Thiago Motta for some time. If this is the guy, I think they're going to make it happen, and Giuntoli will find a way. All right, now we get to Milik. His future seems away from Juventus. There are some Premier League clubs interested, and apparently Milik would like to play in the Premier League. This is what the reports tell us today. However, his own words yesterday in an interview, Milik states that number one, he has no desire to leave Juventus right now. And number two, management has let him know nothing, absolutely nothing about any potential sale coming up in this window, all right? So I expect Milik to probably remain. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, I would take that route. I wouldn't give ourselves more work than we absolutely have to do. Moise Kean set to say goodbye. Keep Milik around for one more season. We don't need to give ourselves too much work. But do you agree or disagree with me? Let me find out in the comments. Now we get to Wojciech Szczesny. The latest is that, yes, he could in fact be leaving. And we have another landing spot because we heard about some Premier League interest. We heard about a massive offer coming out of Saudi Arabia. But MLS could also be a landing spot for Wojciech Szczesny. Now, with the deal for Di Gregorio set to just be finalized at any moment in time now, it is said that Szczesny is now starting to consider that move away. But what does this do for Perin, who was looking at a move before the Di Gregorio news was really hitting media? Now, he apparently wants to play somewhere with continuity, but will he remain and stay as a backup? Or is Juve going to have to bring up a backup goalkeeper as well? Or is Pinsolio going to step up and be Di Gregorio's backup? I can't see that. He's got it pretty cushy, and life seems very good for him and seems happy. So we might have to pick up another keeper, or are we going to promote within? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there, all right? But all eyes on Szczesny and Perin moving forward. Di Lorenzo has been linked with Juventus. Juve been stated to be one of the top sides listed to land the player. But of course, we've got the signing of Antonio Conte to Napoli finalized. And Antonio Conte has been speculated to want Di Lorenzo to remain at all costs. However, rumors today suggest that Di Lorenzo will not budge on his stance. Nobody is going to change his mind. He is leaving Napoli, all right? And apparently Giuntoli will make strides to try and land the right back and is going to do everything in his power to bring him to Juventus, okay? With Douglas Luiz, we've all heard about this swap, this potential swap with Weston McKennie going over to Villa and Juve landing Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz has placed Juventus top of his preference list out of the clubs interested in the Brazilian midfielder. However, Villa wants 20 million euros on top of Weston McKennie to finalize this move, all right? And will Juve find a way to get this one done and over the finish line? all eyes are on the midfield right now with Koopmeiners and Douglas Luiz, but also Adrien Rabiot. And the latest with Rabiot is that there is a lot of optimism that that renewal could be completed, and now the growth decree is set to return, and they could take advantage of that. Juventus as a club in this salary with Rabiot, and also the rumors speculating of a promise of the captain's armband. All right, now with the rumors of Lorenzo and obviously this captain's armband going to Adrien Rabiot, Danilo. There are rumors that Danilo has sparked up some concern, and now he has got his entourage trying to set up meetings with Juntoli, etc., to figure out what in fact is the future for him and Juventus at this moment. And for me, when it comes to Danilo, there has been a lot of speculation about him potentially being moved. I still stay, and I still say, and I still stand firm, this is not the season to do so. He's got versatility. He can help. He doesn't need to be the 1A option, but he could definitely be important coming off that bench. So for me, you look to keep Danilo around for one more year, but we know he's got a clause in there for an automatic renewal based on appearances next season. You have to make sure that it still remains in your control, and he cannot hit that number of appearances, but I would still keep him around. Agree, disagree, hit me in the comments. All right, now we get to the last piece of news, and that is we have a new target to look at, and that is PSV's winger Johan Bakayoko, who scored 12 goals, 9 assists, and 33 appearances, and he apparently has been scouted several times throughout the season by Juventus, and Nico Skira says he is a name to watch out for. There are a couple Premier League clubs interested in the player. Obviously, the funds, he's got a valuation somewhere around the 40 to 50 million euro mark. Might be more for Prem clubs coming in. We will have to wait and see. Is Juve going to act on this? There's no signs suggesting that right now. Nico Skira just simply states that we have scouted him throughout this season on multiple occasions. All right, and that wraps up your news break to today. You all know the drill. Like this video, share the content, subscribe if you haven't, and stick with me throughout the entire mercato and rolling into the 24-25 season and join our AJC army. All right, but my favorite part, let's mix it up in the comments. What do you think about all the news you just heard? All right, and I'll be back tomorrow as always with another edition. Until then, it's fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.